Hey guys, so I'm getting ready for the day, and oh man, this is hard to talk about. While I get ready, I wanted to discuss what's going on with the podcast, because I feel like I just told you guys about the podcast, right? And I'm not going to harp on it too long, but basically we're not doing the podcast anymore, which is sad, but it is what it is, you know? That's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. So instead of getting like all negative and sad and whatever, I'm just going to talk about how much it meant to me and how grateful I am that I did the podcast and that it was what it was, you know? So, for those of you who don't know, James and I have been friends since the 7th grade. So, we've known each other longer than we haven't known each other. And, you know, there was times where we didn't talk or whatever, but for the most part, we had seen each other through a lot of crazy situations, and obviously, if you listen to the podcast, you've heard about one of those situations, right? And, you know, it's very rare to find just people you can jive with in general. I mean, like, I know there's people who are just social and whatever, but I feel like you have people who want quantity over quality, and I'm a very quality person. Like, I haven't stayed friends with a lot of people, mostly due to their fault. So it's very rare that you find, like, God quality friends, okay? And without getting too mushy, because I don't need him getting a big head about it, James is definitely one of those quality friends that I'm grateful for, because he's definitely somebody that I have been able to go to and be like, hey, you know, whatever. And it's a very judgment-free zone. So, and vice versa, you know what I mean? Like, he can come to me and I would not judge. Like, you know, we know some of each other's dirty laundry, whatever, you know? So, I was in a stream that he and Tim were doing. I think they were both doing their own individual streams. I forget who was streaming. It might have been James or whatever, right? And I see it pop up on my thing, and I go in and I say, hey, and when I can, I try to be a supportive friend and pop into my friends' streams when they're streaming. I don't always get the opportunity just because I work overnights and it just doesn't work out that way, So if I can, I will. One of these days was a day that I could. So I did. And, James and I have a very, we roast each other. I mostly roast him, but we have a roast each other type of friendship. So, I was doing that. Obviously met Tim and found out that they had a podcast. And once I found out they had a podcast, of course, as a supportive friend, I was like, say less. And I went and listened and I binged the podcasts, right? Which were amazing, obviously. James is really funny. Tim's really funny. And it's a good time. And so I was in awe and I was telling James, I'm so jealous, that you have this podcast, because I've been wanting to do a podcast. Oh, God, that creased. I've been wanting to do a podcast or whatever. So I really admire, that you guys are doing this, and I wish you would have told me about it sooner. Whatever, but, blah, 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 right? And so eventually we got to the point where we talked about doing a podcast together, and I got so jazzed about it because, like I said, I've been wanting to do one, and I'm a spooky gal, and I like talking about all the things that are dark. I don't know why I've always been like that. I like talking about dark stuff. I'm not a Satan worshipper or anything crazy like that. I like talking about spooky stuff. No, you will not find me watching scary movies and stuff like that. No. The scariest thing I'll watch is Ghost Hunters. Okay, I lived in the hood. That was scary enough for me. Okay, my life experiences have been scary enough. I do not need to. I don't need to live through any more scary experiences. I'm good. I think I've filled up my scary experience bar. Okay. So, anyways, so we started doing the podcast, and it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. James and I do not have a lot of time amongst us because our schedules conflict, right? But we were able to get together maybe once a month. Not even that, because we were putting him out every 2 weeks. So we were able to get together once every few months and bang out some episodes. And then we're cool, we don't got to do this for another how much ever time. So it gave me enough time to work on cases. Mind you, we both have full-time jobs. We both have kids, so whatever. And so it was a nice little fun project we got to do as buddy old pals. And I was all in for it. I'm not joking you. I have a year's worth of content planned out, and I have 12 or 16 scripts just written, ready for the podcast. But due to some, my eyeliner is not eyelinering. Unfortunate circumstances, we're not able to do it. And he offered to be like, hey, you know, if you want to like find another co-host to do this with, then I'll just publish it. Like, we can do that. But to be honest with you, like, it's hard to replicate that dynamic, right? Like, because I will come to him, like, even though we're not doing the podcast, I will still message him about the same stuff. Like, the only difference between us doing the podcast and us not doing the podcast is that it's not going to be recorded for other people to hear, pretty much. So, this one's really long. I'm trying to practice on freehanding it instead of putting stamps on, because I've been putting stamps on for a while. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little lopsided, but I don't care. I like it really thin. Mind you, I have like 3 other things of this in my drawer somewhere. But where it's at right now, oh no, it's at that perfect place where it's almost dried out, to where it makes it easier to freehand. So I don't know if any other girls deal with the same thing, but that's whatever. My current makeup routine is pretty much the same for when I go to work. Because I'm just kind of minimal with the makeup. Like, there's a very few times where I am, you know, really zhuzhing it up. But to be honest with you, like, because of my skin and its condition and all that stuff, and because my face hates foundation, like, the only foundation I've been able to actually make work is Dior. And girl, I do not have time to be buying Dior. Like, the hell? Get the hell out of here with that mess. I'm too messy of a girl. I'm too whatevering. Like, it looks great on camera, to be honest with you, but if I do my work routine versus like my going out routine, there's only very minimal difference. I want to really highlight these cheekbones. Mom, if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you for giving me these beautiful cheekbones. Like, I could have come out looking ugly. But she gave me these beautiful, you know, I'll take the double chin. I'll take the double chin for these beautiful cheekbones. Like, I keep staring at myself because I want to make sure that you can see what I'm seeing. I put very bare minimum. Like, the shade that I'm putting in there, I am a medium or light to medium depending on the spectrum. And like, okay, like, I'm not really putting that much in these cheekbones. Okay. I don't know if it's from my native side or what. And before anybody comes for me in the comments, I had an ancestry DNA. Thank you very much. So yeah. It's so funny because people are like, oh, you look so white and da 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 da. Oh my god, that reminds me. I have other stuff that I need to talk about with you guys, because I talked about it on the podcast, but I haven't talked to you guys about it. So I do not look like the white side of my family, right? And I've been trying to convince people this for the longest time. And granted, do I need to convince anybody? Absolutely not. You know what? I think today I'm going to fill in my eyebrows a little bit. I already have bushy eyebrows, so I don't really do much work, right? But like, I'm just going to make her a little bit better. Oh, I need a trim. Oh, whatever. So this is going to be a long video, but we're getting ready for the day, and hopefully I'll have more content other than me just blabbering on. Sometimes we just need to blabber, right? So I found out that I have an older sister through Ancestry.com. And absolutely adore her. She's amazing. I don't get to talk to her that often. You know, we're both busy girlies. But I adore her. I think she's amazing. And we lived like literally like cities apart. And our biological father, as far as I know, doesn't know about her. I did send out like an SOS, or not a SOS. I did tell somebody in the family to tell him. Whether or not he's gonna get a hold of any of us or try to get a hold of any of us or whatever is beyond me, but I really don't give a shit. Because he's never been even in my life. There's a whole bunch of tea to go with that, but we're gonna get to that another day. We're gonna just talk about my newly found sister. So she looks like the white side of my family, and she's half Latina too. And so you can tell she took from the white side, right? Where I took from my maternal side. She took from our paternal side. I took from my maternal side. And we don't look anything alike. She's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. She clearly got all the good DNA that could be mustered up, because our biological father is not a looker. Our grandma is. She looks a lot like my grandma, to be honest. Now, grandma died at when biological father was real young. Okay. So, sorry, my phone got full of memory. So what I was saying is that my grandma died when our biological father was really young, so none of us got to meet her. So, yeah, no, she looks like my grandma, which, thank God, because that's all I'm gonna say. But it's so funny because our dogs are basically twins. Like, her dog's older than my dog, but our dogs are basically twins. Basically the same dog, which is crazy. I'm not going to go into too much detail about whatever, just kind of protecting her privacy, and whatnot. But yeah, no, it was crazy finding out that I had a sister. And it was so funny because, like, the one time that I talked to him, I asked him, like, hey, do I have any siblings? And he was like, oh, there's 100% no chance that you have any other siblings. And I honestly thought that I might have, like, younger siblings or whatever. But I remember growing up always going, oh, I wish I had, like, an older sister or whatever. Because I am an older sister. Not only am I an older sister, I'm an older cousin on both sides of the family. So, I meant for my stepdad, who I refer to as my dad. On both sides of, those families, I'm the oldest cousin. So I've always been the oldest, I've never really had somebody that I can go to and talk to about whatever, or no one to look up to, and blah, 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 right? So I wanted like a big sister or something like that growing up, and now I have a big sister. I had a big brother, but we adopted him into our family when I was in high school. So it was a little bit different, and the dynamic was a little bit different. We did have a lady who was trying so hard to be my older sister. And I told her she can go kick rocks, because that lady was crazy, okay? Let me tell you. I'm not going to go into detail. Right after I said, let me tell you. That lady was full of drama. And she was part of our bubble? Hello? She was part of our Bible study group. And she kind of attached herself to my dad. And I don't know, she was mad weird. And she had brought her child in because I ran the child care part of the Bible group. And she decided to tell me how much she hated glitter. Oh, when you tell me stuff like that, I'm going to put it in my back pocket. I'm going to save that for later, right? And so she was trying so hard, like inserting herself where she doesn't belong, you know what I mean? Because especially being an older sibling, when somebody comes and tries to disrupt your whatever, what you have going on or whatever, like you quickly go on defensive mode. So she was being problematic on so many levels. And I did not like that. It did not jive with me. She tried telling me what to do. I'm like, first of all, ain't nobody telling me what to do, okay? You got all these people in this church trying to tell me what to do and how I should conduct my life while being a tomboy and yada, yada, yada. You think I'm going to listen to you? I think not. Like, I don't care if people calling me boy crazy or saying this or saying that, or maybe I'm a lesbian or this or that, blah, 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 right? I'm not letting nobody tell me how to conduct my life. I think not, lady. So, anyways, well, I was getting tired of her antics, and the next time that I saw her and her daughter come in, you better believe I made sure the project had glitter, because she was a petty queen. Okay? I get real petty once you cross those boundaries with me. I go from being nice guy to mean guy real quick. I tend to be a very black and white person. I don't beat around the bush. I'm not gonna candy coat stuff, blah, 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 right. So it goes with my personality as well. Like, the second you cross that boundary, yeah, you better believe whatever I had in my back pocket, I'm bringing out. Because, like, you're not. Sorry. Maybe that's a little ghetto of me. I don't care. Like, mama didn't raise no fool. And lucky for me, my mom's an identical twin, so I got two moms. So, like, mamas did not raise no fool. Absolutely not. Anyways, how do we like the look? I feel like it looks a lot better. I'm looking at myself. I feel like it looks a lot better on camera. But you know what? It covers everything that I needed to cover. And to be honest, I'm not mad about it. Like, there's certain spots where I'm like, but like, that's my skin. You know what I mean? And going into 2026, we're just going to learn to accept our body where it is. We're going to learn to accept our face where it is. We're just going to learn to accept ourselves where they are and do our best to improve what we can. Because to be honest, in this day and age, sometimes there's just things that are out of your control. And due to my PCOS, my face, what's going on with my face and what's going on with my body is just out of my control. Why am I going... That's a whole nother tangent. I'm sorry. I'm about to go on a whole nother tangent. I'll save that for the next vlog about how I feel about my body. But 2026, we're accepting ourselves where we are and only worrying about the things that we can change. Per.